today I'm going to be talking about my favorite Dark States deck as of right now, which is Astroea Unica. So for those of you who don't know, Astroea Unica is a deck that focuses on getting critical triggers into Soul and Soul Blasting them. For the ride line, I'm just running the standard one, regular starter, short Sparta, which when rode upon by the grade 2, soul charges 2, and if you soul charge a critical trigger, you draw a card. And then once per turn on rearguard, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can bind a trigger and give it 10k. Turandina, when rode upon by a unit with Astroea's name, you call her in the grade 1 to rearguard. And once per turn, if you have an Almechstar or Vanguard, counterblast 1, you take 2 triggers from your drop and put into Soul, and she gains 5k. And lastly, the main Vanguard of the deck, Almechstar Astroea Unica. When you Soul Blast a trigger, you have 5k that you can give to a unit, and this triggers for every single trigger you Soul Blast. So for the second skill to Soul Blast 3, if you Soul Blast 3 triggers, you have 15 you can give in intervals of 5. And her second skill, when she attacks, you Soul Blast 3, bind all critical triggers Soul Blasted for it, and for each one uncurrently bound, you get different skills. At 1 or more, you retire one of your opponent's rear guards. At 2, she gains a crit, and at 3, she gains an additional drive check. For grade 3s, I am completely loaded up on 3 more regular Astroea, 3 copies of Astroea Biko masks, and 2 copies of the Mask of Hydrogram. The mask form for removing an Astroea from the game gets an additional drive and retires a unit, and then when she attacks, Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 3, you bind all critical triggers, restand one of your rear guards, and both her and the restood rear guard gain 5k for every 2 criticals. The reason I'm maxing out on 4 is because I like the versatility of going back and forth personally. And there are some situations where I feel like the original is better than the mask. For grade 2s, I'm running 3 copies of the Mask Searcher, 4 copies of Kit's Peak Griffin, which, if you have a bound critical, has 5k power and guard during both players' turns, and also on place takes 2 triggers from drop, puts them into Soul. And 2 copies of Byakugan Manticore, which is a beater. When you have 2 or more bound trigger units, it gains 10k. For grade 1s, I am running 3 copies of Twin Marvel Dragon, which when you Soul Blast 3 or more cards at once for your Vanguard's ability, you check the top card of the deck. Either leave it on there or put it into Soul, and it gains 2k. IRM Capricornus, which when boosting, if I have the Almechstar, you can put a trigger from hand or drop into Soul. If it's from hand, you get to draw a new card. 3 Steam Scar Zargon, which when it boosts, it gives the unit the skill. 2, if it hits, take 2 cards from drop and put them into Soul. Then lastly, 3 regular effect perfect cards and the Blitz Order. Lastly, for the trigger lineup, I'm running 4 copies of the Boost Critical, 4 regular crits, 2 regular heals, 2 of the extra crit heals, 3 draws, and the Dark States Overtrigger. And the reason I'm running the extra critical heals is because I feel like, as of right now, with Gandiva being one of the top decks, along with other decks that have the ability to give extra criticals by skill, this is going to be the most valuable of the different effect heals to have. And this is just a quick rundown of the list. Hopefully I'll have the time to record something else and actually go through the deck. Bye-bye.